This particular research, for example, looked at the effect of a mobile phone placed on a desk. You don't even need to be aware that it's there particularly, just placed on a desk. So the experiment was to get some people and get them together, strangers, and ask them to talk about an interesting event that occurred to them over the last month. And then the researchers put them in chairs in a private booth and said, right, go away, go on, have a talk about this interesting thing that's happened to you. Some of the groups had a mobile phone placed just out of view, but kind of to the periphery of their view, just placed on the desk.
Yeah.
And some didn't, of course. And if they didn't, they had a notebook placed on the desk. So there was always something there, but sometimes it's a notebook, sometimes it's a mobile phone.
Okay.
And after they'd finished chatting, they answered some questions about each other. What did you think of that guy you were talking to? And consistently, the ones who'd been chatting with a phone just visible consistently related or made comments about less positive comments about the person they were talking to. And the example they give here would be, I would be less likely to agree with this person, and it's likely that fella I was talking to, we wouldn't become friends in a long time. So there were lots of cold and negative statements, which wasn't true if you had a notebook there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're thinking, why do you explain that?
Yeah. Okay. So how do you explain that?
Difficult, really. It suggests that the meaningful conversations that were taking place boosted your responsiveness to unconscious cues, and you may have been picking up on the idea that the telephone almost subliminally suggests a wider network of yours. So as I'm trying to engage with you and become intimate with you, if you'll excuse the phrase,
yes, it's all right, it's radio.
I'm unconsciously reminded that you have a much broader network. And are you really paying attention to what I'm talking to you about, or are you really thinking about that network which you're constantly connected to? The notebook doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, I can completely accept that. I'll name and shame. My father-in-law gets really upset if people use their mobile phone as, to read text, read emails. Heaven help us send emails, let alone heaven forfend take a call, because you're with me. I am supposed to be the focus of your attention. We were out for lunch the other day, a Sunday lunch together, how delightful, and he pointed out the next table there were 4 people sitting there. And it was something I'd never seen before. 3 of them were using their mobiles. One of them was using a laptop.
Were they even attempting to talk to each other? No, they weren't even pretending anymore.
Not even.
Sadly,
a laptop.
My wife and I did sit next to a young couple who came and sat down, and they were a young couple obviously out on a date. It was in one of the local Marlow restaurants. And what did they do after they'd given their orders? They both whipped out their mobile phones and started to text, obviously, someone else. And we just thought, well, this is...
Maybe they have a problem with vocal cords and they're actually texting each other. Who knows?
But there again, what this is saying in a business context, be careful about some of the really subtle changes you can make to the dynamic.